like to tell you that we are extremely happy today to have our past international director, Lion Sanjay Khetan as our chief guest. I know how busy he is, the kind of work that he does, and but despite that, when he invited him, and he's one of the sweetest to talk to. I spoke to him only once or twice on telephone, but the way he received me, the way he inquired about the program and then gave me support, I think I am greatly beholden to you, sir, for the wonderful support that you've given me. Lion Sanjay Khetan is the first international director from Nepal. He was a director during 2015 and 17. He also was a past multiple council chairperson, a past multiple district GLT coordinator, and right now he's the constitutional area leader, GAT constitutional area leader, and he has been doing tremendously wonderful work in that capacity. When he was a director, most of you perhaps know, the senior alliance know that of the more than 30, 35 directors that are there in the board, only some 8 to 10 people get opportunities to chair a committee. There are various committees at the international board, and 9 or 10 people get opportunity to chair that committee. So Lion Sanjay Khetan was invited to be the chairman of the membership committee that year. That's a big, big achievement. I think we are all very proud of that. Then another achievement that I must tell you is he achieved more than 300% membership net growth. And if I give you figures, perhaps you will appreciate it better. Just 15 years ago, or maybe around that time, Nepal had only 4,800 members, the whole country. 4,800 members was what it had a decade and a half ago. But today, Nepal has, I think, more than 45,000 members. That's 10 times multiplied, not just double, treble, quadruple, but 10 times multiplied. And I think most of the credit for that huge success goes only to Sanjay Khetan. There might be a lot of people who have worked for that, but I think Sanjay Khetan was the leader who took it ahead, and then I think that big achievement was made. And another achievement that I must talk to you about is the various programs of LCIF for which he was grant administrator. You might remember that earthquake that struck Nepal and quite a lot of other programs, not just one. So for all these programs, he was the grant administrator. Grant administrator is a big job, and also it's not given to everybody unless LCIF has absolute trust in them. One more thing that I would like to share with you is the highest award that Lions give to anybody, any lion, is the Ambassador of Goodwill. I think all of you know that. But there is a very, very, the highest award Nepal government gives. The name of the award is Nepal Government Jan Seva Patak. So perhaps he's the only one, as far as I know, who has this double distinction of getting the highest award from the Lions and the highest award from the government of Nepal. I think this is something we all should be very, very proud of. By profession, he's a civil engineering consultant, and he is associated with quite a lot of social, cultural, community-related, and profession-related organizations, including Nepal Heart Foundation, Nepal Red Cross Society, Nepal nagaRAJU Trust, then Jan Jati Kalyan Ashram, Nepal Engineers Association, etc. Then the last thing that I'd like to share with you, this is very interesting, and this looks to me a little strange also, because in India, at least that I know, typically when governments looks around for appointing brand ambassadors for subjects like tourism, they usually look for cricketers, celebrities, film actors, sometimes ministers. But in Nepal, the Nepal government appointed Sanjay Khetan as the brand ambassador for tourism. So this distinction coming to Lions is a very, very rare distinction, I think. In fact, when I read that, I read it twice to believe it. So Sanjay Khetan, so it's I invite you to give your message and also inaugurate this episode of SkillUP as open.
Thank you, nagaRAJU, and thank you for inviting me. And you have been conducting this great program, which have this good following. And I'm grateful to each of the participants who is present today. we have our profound presenter for the day, Ravi Manuja, who is a very good presenter and a trainer. So we will have one good hour, a quality hour, I can promise to each participant. Friends, my introduction was like something I know this Sanjay Khetan, the one who was introduced, and I love that Sanjay Khetan. That is something more than me. Today's subject is very important and not a very usual one. We have listened the code of ethics in the beginning, but rarely we put our mind to it, and this is one of the most important thing in our life. Not in this organization, not in my professional, but ethics is something which is very, very important. And today's subject is ethical leadership. Why leadership? Why not everyone? In any organization, ethics will be applied only if the leadership accepts it. We all are leaders at different parameters, different levels, but believe it, we need to be ethical at all levels. While Ravi Manuja will make the presentation, I will give my views, connecting it to some of the lionistic things. But I would say ethics is the most important thing in our life. Knowledge, ethics without knowledge is something weak, unsuccessful. If you have ethics and you do not have a subject knowledge, it is okay, you will not perform. But knowledge without ethics is dangerous. If you are a leader or you have your profound knowledge but do not have ethics, that is very dangerous. And you can remember our past histories, that when anyone in the leadership who came without ethics, he has done bad to the world. It happens everywhere, my friend. And ethics is not, moral and ethics will be two different issues. And ethics will not be a very big thing, but it is very important thing. If you can say it is big also. I will not go into detail, but I will give an example. What is moral and what is ethics? Not lying is ethics, moral. Being generous is moral. Being humble is moral. Doing good is moral. Being patient is moral. Then someone will say, what is ethics? Ethics is honesty, integrity. Moral is going good, looking good. But we need to be ethical in all our conduct. And we all know what is good or what is bad and what is ethical and what is unethical. One day, a boy who was doing very good in his profession, in his business, came to his mother and asked her, "Mother, there is an opportunity, but something is coming to my heart, that should I do this job or do that work or not?" She told him that, okay, I am a lady who has not done studies, so I don't have much of knowledge, but I can tell you one thing. In the morning, I come to your room every day and you are sleeping very good. If that job wakes you up, doesn't allow you to sleep, your heart is not accepting it, then please don't do it. Otherwise, you do it. We all know what is ethical, what is not ethical. Sometimes we do it when we are compelled to do, when people are seeing us. If I need to quote one example, family membership in our organization. At different level, we did unethical things. We quoted wrong family members with wrong intentions. That is unethical, my dear friend. So we need to grow in a strong organization. We need to be ethical at all levels. Everyone knows it. Even a dog knows it. You give him something to eat, he will sit there and eat. But if it takes it from your plate without your permission, he will go 2 streets away and then he will eat it. So even he knows that I'm doing something wrong. So my dear friends, we need to be ethical. In an organization, if you talk what is unethical, what is unethical? Employer exploitation. If you are doing exploitation of your fellow lion, we do it. Exploitation means I'm not saying anything physical, but then sometimes their credit you take it, or you make them do the work they are not supposed to do. Any exploitation, discrimination, that is unethical. I'm saying that is unethical, and you relate it to our own organization, that it is unethical. Corruption, lack of transparency, these all are ethical. Poor decision is unethical. So what is ethical? If Nepal grew 4,800 to 45,000, we all need to say that if we have accepted any position, it is our ethics. We should perform as per its need. Sometimes we say that, okay, if he didn't do, why should I? Sir, it is unethical. We take positions, we take responsibilities, and do not do as per the expectations. So my dear friends, there is each place we need to be ethical. Let us see on our services, which is the core of this organization. Many of the time, we do service only for the sake of service. That needs are not there. The impact of the activity is not there. Why we do it? The core of organization, so there we need to be ethical. If we all the leadership of this organization, when I say the DNA of Lions Club, I mean to say it is a leadership-based organization. You like my word or not, it is not a bottom-up organization. It should be. But fact remains, we believe on our leader. When Winkun Tam comes to the organization and says that plant the tree, we exceeded his number by planting the tree. When campaign 100 starts, we contribute to the LCIF in a very big number, more than the target. So we believe on our leadership. So leadership needs to be ethical always. Sometimes what happens with us, and when I say, I'm not trying to indicate you, I am included in each of these shortfalls. So what happens with us, that sometimes when we are at different level of Lionistic meeting, we suggest and we comment by the nature, by the thinking that whom it will benefit. If it benefits X, our comment is different. If it benefits Y, our comment is different. Friends, when the general lion sees you, he sees you like a god. So we need to be ethical on that part. Our ethics should go to the extent that what services, what membership, what leadership training we are supposed to do, because we are custodian of society. So it is a binding on us that we deliver the best on the ground. If I talk of LCIF contributions and thereafter the benefit comes, we can take as many projects as possible. There are rules and regulations, not the endless number. But are we taking those projects? Many of the districts are not taking. So our ethics also says that we deliver to the society what is needed. We need it. That is all our responsibility, my dear friends. So we will be having 1 hour storming our mind. We will not talk. I believe Ravi Manuja also will not talk something which you all don't know, but he will steer our mind. I will try my level best to give you what I know connecting to our line. So these are the things which, if think of a situation, we talk of Dwapar Yug or the Ramchandra's time, people were more ethical that time. So the society was a different level of society. We are the people who have selected we have personally opted to serve the society. So we have the highest responsibility that we need to be ethical in all our conduct. The service is not a matter of photography, not a matter of just counting the number, but it is a matter of samarpan, that is total dedication. If we are able to do a total dedication to the society, then there is service. Anything less than total dedication is not service, and sorry to say, it becomes unethical, because we are doing that for personal interest and photography. So, my dear friends, this is not to offend anyone, because I told that I am including in all these shortfalls, and each one of us have that. Again, I will say moral and ethics are different things, but then we need to have a very, very high ethics. Mission 1.5 is going on. So I think each one of us, if we own the responsibility, we can bring some member. Each one of us can bring a member. So why we don't take it as our ethics? Any responsibility is your responsibility, my dear friends. Whether it be service, whether it be training program, whether it be either I am not accepting that post. My biodata is read, and I can tell you I have not accepted member of parliament of my country. There is a seat where I don't need to fight, and we do not have upper house and lower house. We only have one house, but there are some nominated seats. Because I thought that I will not be able to do justice, I will not be able to give time, so I don't accept. And if I accept it, believe it, I would try to do the best for that particular job which I accepted. So the ethics also says that you have responsibility. Primarily, I will accept the responsibility. It is my job. Anything happens, we will not wait. If it's an earthquake in Jajarkot, I was in Osil Forum, but no waiting. Morning, I got up, ringed the chairman of LCIP and got my project sanctioned and moved on that, my dear friends. So I can continue to speak on this subject. I can continue to elaborate it, but we need to see, introspect ourselves, where we are ethical most of the time only when we see that people are watching us. Our actions will be commented, our actions will be observed, and that is even unethical. I should be ethical at all my parameters. This is my request, humble request. I have tried to give some small examples to you so that you can correlate it to our own organization. There are a lot of such things happen. We in membership, we are suffering from the drop because membership are reported for reasons which are not proper. Our service are hampered because we haven't taken it to the needs of society. Rather, it is our need. Many times it is correlated like that. So today's meeting, we should conclude within ourselves that, okay, these ethical parameters we will maintain. And I tell you, I request you that if we are able to do part of it, lot of things will improve. Because I can see a lot of you on the video you have on, and I know many of you, and I know the influence you have on the Lions circle and the effect you have on the society of your own. Definitely, my dear friends, you will be able to influence others also. You are influencing today, but if we increase our values a bit, it will be more effective. I wish the program all the success. nagaRAJU, he told in the beginning that this or the next one will be the last episode. I don't know why, if there is any specific reason to end it with so much of good friends there. He should continue. My best wishes is with him, and I will be available when and any time it is required. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. That was really quite inspiring. One or two points that you made are very, very touching. Actually, the need for samarpan, that's the word that you used, is absolutely essential to make ourselves better lions. And the introspection that you talked about, the need to look within and also make every sincere effort to be more ethical, to be more, good to our organization and to our society. I think these are some things that we must build our association further on. Thank you very much, sir. And I told you that this is the last program. Actually, I had planned only 20 this year, and I wanted to continue next year in a slightly different format because May, June typically are busy months, and we have lots of conventions and we travel, and that we wanted to close with April, May. One LCIP, Kalyani, fell ill and she could not make the presentation. That's why there is a little uncertainty about the next one. Maybe if Kalyani does not get well by then, maybe I'll make the last presentation. I have not done one. Anyway, I'll take a decision in the next few days. So now we are going on to the next part and the most important part of the presentation today. So I invite LCIP, my kind of guru, because these are all very, very senior LCIPs. They have been LCIPs for a very long time. We are all, recent additions. So Raviji has been one of the senior most trainers in the country. By profession, he's an academician, he's a professor. I don't think we have many professors in Lionism, and he is one of them. He is the registrar of that popular Amity University in Gurugram. And you might have guessed already, he has been a lion for 34 years, a senior lion, and a past district governor, a past multiple council secretary, a past GLT area leader. Those days when he was in area, these days area leaders have small geographical areas, maybe one multiple district or maybe a few districts. But those days it was not like that. When Raviji was GLT area leader, he had 4 countries with him, not 4 districts. So Pakistan was with him, Bangladesh was with him, Nepal was with him, India was with him. So he supervised the functioning work of leadership and he promoted leadership in all these 4 countries and did a tremendous job. He earned such a wonderful fame and name that people remember his work as GLT coordinator even today. When he was district governor, he gave a call for setting goals high and working with a firm resolve so that Lionism will be a better place for everybody. And he is the founder of a charitable trust by name Lions Investors Charitable Trust. Maybe if he gets a 1 minute time during his presentation, I would like him to tell us what this is so that maybe other districts also can have something similar. One last thing that I'd like to tell about him is maybe those who are FDIs already, LCIPs who are attending this program know there was something called an FDES. That was only for 1 year, I think, maybe or 2 years. So after LCIP was not there those days. So FDI, that's all. That was the end of it. So Lions Clubs International thought that there must be one more level, especially to help us train ourselves in technology. So they introduced something called FDES and they withdrew it later. And luckily, I also took that program. I also qualified myself as FDS, and Raviji is another. There are very few, I think, because it was withdrawn later. And of course, they reintroduced that LCIP, and Raviji is FDI, FDES, LCIP, all of them, and has been a trainer for a very long time, as I already told you. I invite Ravi Manujaji to make the presentation. Raviji, it's your time now. You can.
Thank you. Thank you so much, nagaRAJU. I'll share the screen as well.
Please. In the meanwhile, one or two announcements while Raviji is showing us the screen. So in case you post your member number in the chat box, I will report your attendance. Of course, SkillUP 18, SkillUP 19 could not be reported because some change is happening in the technology there at the international headquarters, and the Learn portal is not functioning properly. So SkillUP 18 and 19 have not been reported yet. I'll report them once the Learn portal is in place. Raviji, over to you.
Okay. At the outset, I would like to compliment nagaRAJU for a brilliant initiative, SkillUP. I appreciate him and he richly deserves it. My privilege to have with us as chief guest PID Sanjay Khetan. He's a leader par excellence. I have always admired him, and I'll be one of the happiest, if not the happiest, when he heads our organization as international president.
Yes.
So today's presentation is slightly different. Earlier, we have had presentations about effective and impactful facilitators, trainers, giving them the tips. But now is the time, as Sanjay sir initiated also, this is time for introspection. This is time for self-evaluation and self-assessment. This is in a way about the awakening of the conscience and about a resolve and a determination to do things as they should be done. So it's about discovering how honest and sincere we have been. And as we set the ball rolling, although Sanjay sir has given us quite a bit of idea about what ethical leadership is, but I would like the attendees to write in the chat box, say a word, a phrase, a few words, even a sentence about something they feel that makes leadership ethical. What you think and how you view leadership as ethical leadership.
Sanjay ji, if you want, I can read some of them.
Yeah.
Asha writes, ethical leadership involves making decisions and taking actions. And walk the talk is Vijayananda Reddy's answer. And Dr. Bikash Seth says, sorry, he gave his number. And Manohar Karki says, sometimes it's to compromise with integrity and transparency. Effective communication is one of the requirements, is Shah's answer. Satya Narayana says honesty. nagaRAJU says it's about leading by example. And Subramanyeshwar says leadership with moral values. And leadership is integrity of personality is Ananda Kumari's answer. Recognize the lions who work hard is Shiv Shankar's answer. Honest approach is Lalji Verma's answer. Honesty.
I think, yes. Now, it's quite thoughtful. So let's move ahead because we have the paucity of time as well. So ethical leadership is a leadership style and approach that emphasizes the importance of moral and principle behavior in guiding and influencing others. Ethical leaders make decisions and undertake actions aligned with a strong set of ethical values. So ethical values Ethical leaders often work to create a positive ethical culture within their organizations and teams. That means it's individual, of course, but it goes beyond individual and it goes to the organization, it goes to the team we belong to. Ethical leaders promote ethical decision making and contribute to the well-being of both individuals and organization as a whole. Ethical leaders serve as role models for ethical conduct. And if we talk about the key characteristics, the way we were discussing, honesty, integrity, and there's transparency. I think all the attendees, all the participants will agree with it, that it involves these key characteristics. So how being ethical is beneficial, and how being unethical can be torturous. So when we are behaving ethically, so we have the trust, we have the employee or the volunteers' morale, we have the reputation with us, we have our image, a bright and brilliant image, we have a branding, we have more than that, the peace of mind, we have more than that, the sense of fulfillment, and we have the contentment. And friends, no tension, no stress, no anxiety, and no depression. One myth, normally people think that ethical leadership is about financial bungling, embezzlement of funds, corruption, etc. That means being unethical amounts to this, but this, in fact, is about so many other aspects also. And we are going to take up more aspects than the corruption or the embezzlement of funds. Friends, each day we encounter ethical dilemma. And all of you can think of a scenario. All of you can go back to the times, you can visualize when you encountered one particular ethical dilemma in leadership. And now today, as we discuss, we'll try to see that how such situations can be navigated by ethical leaders. So all of us now, we are waking up to the fact that we are to think of, visualize, or actually have been, say, we take a real life example, in fact, a particular club was having a board of directors meeting. The item, important item on the agenda was enrolling 5 new members from the lower cadre of city police. And they were known to be used to excessive drinking also. So when this proposal came from the sponsoring director of the club, there was a protest, and the directors refused to accept this proposal of enrolling these 5 new members. And now this sponsoring director insisted that they must be made the members. The atmosphere got vitiated. The meeting was, adjourned. Next meeting, again, the same thing happened. Now, in such a situation, if you think, just let us see, in such a situation, whether those 5 members should be taken in the club or should not be taken in the club. And for this, I think a poll, and I would be requesting nagaRAJU to go ahead with this poll. It's going to be very interesting. How many of you think they should be taken? How many of you think they should not have been taken or they should not be taken?
Ravijay, I have launched the poll on the screen. Members can see it and they can vote.
Yeah. Go ahead, members.
Good. I think some more than 35, 40 people have already voted. We'll keep it open for under 30 seconds.
Yeah. So let's know the ratio between those who said.
Yeah. 10 seconds to vote. So it's stuck at 56 because nobody else voting.
It's absolutely okay. 56 is a good number.
57.
So
I'm
what's the ratio
stopping
like?
it. I am sharing the results with you.
Yeah.
I think you can see the results now on your screen. So 65%, that is 39 people out of 60 have said yes. And 35%, that is 21 out of 60 people said no.
So that's great. But one thing is clear, that it's a difficult decision to be taken. Even if it's 65-35, still it's a difficult decision. And in such an ethical dilemma, it becomes very difficult. Now, I think poll can be removed.
Yeah, it's already removed, I think. Is it not
Uh,
removed? I'll just check once again.
It's there on my screen. Yes.
It's removed already. I cannot see it. Can others see it?
It's gone. It's gone.
Right.
Very quickly, now I'll talk about another ethical dilemma. This is a shocking one, because it's something unimaginable. So there is an election of vice district governor being monitored by Lions International. Now, only the PDGs are the voters. Say 26 or 27 PDGs are the voters. Now what happens, that the authority who has an access to the members portal, the authority drops some of the PDGs without their knowing, without the president of the club even knowing. And one of them, who is very much, hale and hearty, he is shown there as deceased. There it was 65-35. My dear friends, I think there is no poll required in this case. Is it? Certainly no, because it's outrightly unethical to get a few votes. We go to the extent of making a person deceased and then canceling the membership, in certain cases dropping them. So this is what I feel. Such things, as Sanjay ji also gave a hint to, these must not happen if the organization is to flourish. So this is time when we, all of us, the leaders, and through us, other leaders, they will also determine and they'll take a resolve to remain ethical. Now we are going to have a few examples of unethical leadership. And we are discussing, friends, negative only with the purpose of reaching the positive. Here, yes, fake clubs for votes. We'll have to encounter this reality. Gross misuse of family membership. Exploitation of candidates for the position of VDG2. Misuse of LCIF grants. Misuse of authority for orders, supplies for permanent projects with substandard products at higher rates. Monopolizing the clubs, thus hampering leadership development in club districts, multiple districts. These are only a few examples, but very, very pertinent examples, because these are the ones which have really, shattered the image of Lions International. They've shattered the image of our clubs, our districts, our multiple districts. But this has been happening. No one can deny. So we'll have to encounter the reality as it is with us. And we'll have to confess that these are the things which are actually doing the great harm to the organization. So my pertinent question to you, the leaders who are authorized to, so you or all of us who are authorized to promote Lions in future leadership roles, those who are to recommend Lions for FDI, LCIP, those who are to promote talented women in leadership roles, those who are to promote and recommend lines for recognition and important roles and positions. This is the time to introspect, because these are a few things which are actually, marring the fabric, entire fabric. To make or mar is in these hands. In case we do things on the basis of recommendation, in case we discourage merit, in case we don't take the right decisions, in case we don't take the ethical decisions, our organization is going to suffer. But in case all of us, yes, friends, through you, many other attendees, other line leaders, basically those line leaders who are authorized to do this, we should actually think on these lines. Will you do it on the basis of merit with honesty and integrity? And friends, in case we do that, we'll have a bright, brilliant future for our organization, and we'll be proud lions. So quickly, we'll talk about a few theories, ethical leadership theories. Transformational leadership, servant leadership, form of leadership very close to the heart of AP Singh sir. Authentic leadership, ethical decision-making, and principle-based leadership. So here we have in transformational, inspiring and motivating followers through a shared vision and ethical value. In servant leadership, serving others first, and here a focus on empathy, listening, and empowering others. Authentic leaders are genuine, self-aware, and transparent. Ethical decision-making, not a leadership style per se, but yes, ethical decision-making framework guides leaders in making morally sound choices. And principle-based approach centers on ethical principles such as honesty, fairness, respect for individual rights. All these theories provide frameworks for leaders to navigate complex ethical dilemmas, the way we talked about too, and cultivate a culture of integrity in the organization. Now, technically also, I would like how ethical behavior we should adopt as a trainer, because all of us, most of us are either LCIPs or we are FDIs. Never go unprepared as a facilitator, trainer, or faculty. Do lots of search and research. Never adopt a casual approach towards your trainings. Avoid copy and paste method. Make your presentation or make that content of yours distinct and individual. Never digress from the curriculum designed by LCI when it comes to leadership institutes. Don't involve participants in avoidable general discussion totally irrelevant to the topic. I have observed myself in some of the institutes that getting, unethical, what we do is we are not prepared and we try to involve the participant into political discussions in the district, in the multiple. This is certainly going to be counterproductive, friends. It is certainly going to be in the category of unethical. So my message to all of you who happen to be FDIs and LCIPs, be prepared and establish yourself as a great facilitator by working hard and by not just copying others, not looking for the PPTs from here and there, just prepare everything yourself. So ethical leadership has to be there in order that we have a great future of organization, our own future, individual future, future of the clubs and the districts and the multiple districts, friends. Now is the time to connect this ethical leadership with Mission 1.5. In fact, this is something I have studied, and I've come to the conclusion that why we have not achieved the target of 1.5. All the targets our association had, those were achieved and before time. So we had campaign site first one, and the target was $100 million, and we collected 140. Campaign site first two, the target was $150 million with extended target. Stretch target was 200 millions, and we collected 204. Campaign 100, $300 million, and we collected 324. In service also, we have actually, realized all the dreams, and we have reached at all the targets. But one target, one goal, which is eluding our association, this was in 85. There was this buzzword 1.5 in 85. And how many years? 15 plus 24, 39 years, and we are still far away from 1.5. And now it has come in the shape of Mission 1.5. So we got to understand why this did not happen. So now it has to be adopted as a mission, and we have to have a major shift in focus. And we got to accomplish not at the level of just one club. Let it be at all areas, individual, club, region, district. All of us should feel committed so that we can achieve this target. And here, very important, these are startling figures. I'll quickly share with you. In the last 5 years, we are having a membership of 2 lakh plus or minus, almost 2 lakh. For example, in 19, we had 2,05,000, but drop was 236. Then we had addition of 162 plus, but drop of 231. Then we had 21, 238 plus, and drop 225. 254 we added, dropped 246. 2 lakh and 9,000 we added, and the drop was 2,42. If we are to have one observation on the basis of these figures, what will be there? Quickly, in case we can have it in the chat box. What is your observation, friends, about membership growth, but then year end having either a small growth or minus loss? Okay, I'll say membership growth has never been an issue, has never been a problem, because we have been adding 2 lakh plus minus every year. The real issue is the drop. And this drop, I would like to establish here that although we got to have strategies for retention, but then let's have a look at this. We must have the idea that drops have not been small ones. There have been massive drops, friends, and these are the fake clubs I had referred to. So in case we become ethical, in case we display this ethical leadership, it will become very easy to accomplish Mission 1.5. Otherwise, same issues will be there. Drops will be there. So we got to have members, not numbers. If in case we analyze, friends, I'm going to ask you some soul-searching questions. Are we prepared to compromise our image, reputation, and dignity for creating a fake vote bank? And fake vote banks have been created which go into the, say, numbers 2,000, 5,000, 6,000. But what happens? Are we prepared to turn unethical for achieving political ends, flouting Lions ethics given to us as sacrosanct as we become members? And we talk about ethics. We study, we read, we analyze, but still, when the occasion comes, we turn unethical for our own political ends, particularly the leaders who tend to be the kingmakers. Do we realize the numbers will fall, creating embarrassment and setbacks? Number rises, we are so glad. And July starts, and then 2 or 3 months, then the fall, then again the growth is there, and then again the fall, which creates so much of embarrassment, friends. So only the members will remain, numbers will fall. So friends, there is an extremely urgent need for a qualitative change in the remaining 3 years of Mission 1.5. If Mission 1.5 is to be adopted for accomplishment, we must be honest, we must be sincere, and we must be genuine. Such members as get dropped after a specific purpose gets fulfilled, not needed. And we must have growth, which could be gradual, which could be steady, but it has to be real growth. There should be either no drops or minimum drops. High growth of 2 lakh, as the figures showed, high growth of 2 lakhs with equal number of drops or more number of drops, let's say no to that. Instead, slow, steady, but real growth of 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh, 1.75 lakhs with no drops or minimum drop. Yes, this is the time, this is the stage where we got to introspect, we got to think about it, that we are to focus on drops. Yes, let's go in for 2 lakhs every year, but then we should be very particular that there is not going to be any drop. And therefore, let there be no misuse of family membership. Let there be no misuse of fake clubs. So this is, friends, the time when we have to have firm determination. Because in case we don't go in for firm determination, in case we don't focus on the real problem of ethical leadership, in case we don't focus on the drops which are there, because this is not 5 years data which I was sharing with you. When I was GLT coordinator, area leader, then also for 3 years, the similar figures were there, 2 lakhs, but then drop of 2 lakhs. So here is the time when we should be deciding not to be unethical at all, not to think on the lines of having our personal benefits, not think on the lines of having our own leaders monopolizing the clubs, monopolizing the districts, and we should think of the organization. So this is, friends, time for a firm resolve, and this is the time for pledge. I am reminded of 2005, I was the district governor. Before that, a very senior PDG, line S.L. Kapoor, he says, you want to become a governor, but you are trying to be a reformer. Either be a reformer or be a district governor. And I said, sir, let me understand. Do you mean to say that a district governor cannot be a reformer, that a district governor cannot be ethical as far as the leadership is concerned? And if at all, there is a choice to be made between becoming a district governor and remaining ethical and trying to create an atmosphere where I go in for reforms, which are so much needed. Sir, I would like to become a reformer, even if it amounts to my not being a district governor. This is the gist of the whole thinking, friends. We got to be so firm that we should be prepared, even if we have to forego certain personal benefits, we should be prepared for that. But when it comes to being ethical, when it comes to doing something for the organization, making our organization enhance that image of its and refurbishing the image of Lions International, I would like all of you to spread this message and take it along your clubs, your districts, your zones, your regions, and then spread the message that this ethical leadership is the need of the hour, and it's so much needed for the organization, is so much needed for our own sakes. So this is, and we, of course, as we go to the question and answer session, we would like to discuss even more. So alone, we can do so little, friends. Together, we can do so much. And with this, friends, let the presentation be over, and then we can discuss further. And it's exactly at 10, nagaRAJU ji, I have finished my presentation.
Thank you so much, Raviji. I know you are a trainer of trainers, a facilitator of facilitators, one of the best that we have in the country. And you've trained hundreds and thousands of people already, both academically and in Lionism. And I like the way you put things forward, forthright, point blank. I think that's the way it should be. I love your style. I love the approach with which you made the presentation. I invite people for asking questions, but let the questions be very brief. We are expecting quite a lot of questions, and don't get into arguments, please. Just straight ask your question. And when you ask the question, relate to what has been presented by Raviji, and also be brief. Saroj has already risen her hand. Saroj, I'm unmuting you.
Thank you, sir. Manuja, sir, my question is, how can we balance short-term goals with long-term vision without compromising our ethics?
Short-term goals should be the priority, but at the same time, keeping in our mind the long-term goals also. And when it comes to being ethical or remaining ethical, whether it's for a short-term goal or it's for a long-term goal, we got to remain ethical. This is, I am actually, focusing on for all of us, because we got to take the lead. This is just, say 175 or 200 participants, but through you, I want this message to go that now is the time that we got to be particular, each one of us individually, and then at the level of the club, zone, regions, districts, we got to remain ethical, and we got to exhibit ethical leadership.
David Reddy, your question, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, every international governor, when he takes up, he will immediately announce so many clubs I want, I will give you this, I will give you that, and all that. Similarly, so many members you do, I will give you this pins, this all rewards. Go and at the club level, at district level, somebody will ask, say, I will give you a gold coin, I will give you silver coin, like this. So actually, because these people are infatuated by that, people are making numbers, not members, because they want to go to the stage and receive that and announce. Throughout their life, they will say, no, I have made so many clubs. I have made so many clubs, though in spite of the fact that all the clubs are closed next year, all in spite of the fact that members are dropped next year or in few months. So where does the exact fault lies? Where it should be taken care, where it should be corrected?
I shall be very categorical in answering. The fault does not lie at all with the organization. Our organization is perfect. Incentives, if these are being offered, that is one form of recognizing the members for working hard. Now it comes to us. Being ethical or being unethical is going to be our own choice. In order to get those incentives, in case we indulge in unfair practices, in case we have members who are fake, who are just on paper, then the fault lies with us, the individuals, not with the organization at all. At all stages, organization has taken decisions for the sake of all of us. But then having those selfish motives in our own mind, in order to be and remain the kingmakers, we have indulged in these malpractices. So friends, once again, I'll say that we should introspect and we should decide not to get unethical at all. So here it is for us to be firm about our ideas.
Thank you, Raviji. The future questions, I request you to please focus on ethical leadership in general, not just membership growth alone. Yeah, Raviji. Sorry, Rajesh Shukramaniji.
Good evening, sir. Sir, I can correlate with your experience that when you said that some PDG said that you cannot be a reformer, you cannot, if you want to be a leader. We cannot, but here also in our district also, I can see that there are certain examples where PDGs start lobbying themselves against this reforming thing. So how to fight that particular thing?
No,
And how long we can?
This was actually a bold decision for me to take up the issues which are actually, becoming problems for us. So being ethical is the only answer. Not being selfish, not being having a bid for becoming the kingmaker. I think all of us belong to us. All our members are equal for us. This should be the feeling in our mind, in our hearts. In case you monopolize a club or a district, you are not going to have a peaceful state of mind. This is a guarantee, that in case all of us want to enjoy, we should have that family spirit, we should have that team spirit, and that is going to give us results as well. So I think through discussions, we should be talking in these groups where senior members are there, where PDGs are there, and let's talk about this ethical leadership, the need of the ethical leadership, and how it can actually save our organization and refurbish the image.
Dr. Deepak Chaudhary.
Good evening. It was wonderful listening to you, Raviji.
Thank
and
you.
Really, it was a wonderful experience. My first question is it ethical for the sponsorer to sponsor a member and after 1 year he vanishes? The second question is, why the international has no any recognition or the awards for the retentions or any member who has sponsored the member who is there with the organization for more than 3 years? So I feel if that kind of awards is introduced, there may be more sponsors who will see that whatever the members they have sponsored, they will retain, and the question of droppage will stop. Thank you.
So in case the sponsor does it deliberately, that he'll enroll a member and after 1 year, drop that member, it's certainly unethical. But in certain cases, it can be some other reason also. So we got to give the benefit of doubt to the sponsor. It doesn't mean that all the sponsors are this way. So having membership for 3 years, for 5 years, and we know the critical period is just 2 years. Once we remain members for 2 years, then definitely we start knowing the organization so well that we understand the importance of service so well, and we have the ways and means, and that way I think membership will never drop. So massive drops is a problem, and we should be cautious about those.
Govindraj Srinivasan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Guruji. You are my Guruji always.
Thank you.
I got my LCIP through you.
Yes.
Now, I have only two things to ask you. This giving free admission, that $35 which was waived, created havoc in many districts, and they were used unethically only for election purpose. Number two is,
yeah, sure.
First one is $35 was waived for about 3 or 4 years entry fee. That created havoc in many districts, and the governors used it for election purpose. Number two is I would rather be a reformer than a governor. Though I finished my governorship, I would rather be a reformer and be an ethical leader than a compromising leader. These are my two things.
So I start from the last one. So if I be your teacher for LCIP, I'm feeling so elated that I have generated a spirit of being ethical in you and so many of others also. Again, when it comes to those incentives, I'll still say, and I'll say firmly, that at no stage the organization did anything wrong in offering those incentives. We at the district level in particular, we have played with those and the results have been disastrous. So being ethical or being unethical, I think when we have the training of our vice governors, when we have the training of our DG elects, I would recommend that more focus, the way it was there on certain topics, for example, listening, effective listening. Similarly, this ethical leadership should be essentially taught to our VDG2, VDG1 in their trainings. I think that will transform the personalities of those, the way you have said that instead of being a governor, I would like to be a reformer. I am for the training of let the message go to leadership division, that this part should essentially be added. Thank you.
Thank you, Raviji. We have 5 more hands risen. We'll try to accommodate all of you. So we have another 5 minutes to go. Anuradha Jainji.
Good evening, sir. You have been my mentor and guide for RLLI, and I have been quite inspired by your lessons and the ways you teach. My question is not on membership, not on membership fee. My question is the vision of a DG. Every year, we as members, as cabinet members or whatever portfolio, follow DG's vision. And somehow it looks like a 100-meter race. And we are members for decades. Can't we have a relay where the baton is passed on and the project continues with the same vision of leadership rather than undoing and doing with respect to permanent projects, with respect to service activities, with respect to approach towards the members to do a leadership portfolio? So my question here is, can we have a relay of leadership rather than 100-meter relay, which 100-meter race which expires every time on the 30th of June?
Perfectly well said. It's a very noble thought, in fact, so that the purpose of Lions International in having DG team, that also gets fulfilled. I'll speak about, say, international program, which is wonderful with that service framework. Then let's come to district governor. Each district governor tries to have the best of projects. But here, I think presidents should also add the local community needs and then go ahead with it. Yes, it's a brilliant idea. I would also appreciate in case the DG team has a relay sort of, say, service framework at the district level also. I am with you for this, on this.
Shalini.
Thank you, nagaRAJU sir. Sir, I would like to congratulate first the Ravi Manuja sir for a fantastic session. And my question is, when senior leadership opts for unethical practices, what actions can be taken to address the situation effectively?
No, I think there should not be any action contemplated. That goes to an extreme which doesn't happen. And if it all happens, it is the Constitution that takes care of it. As far as I am concerned, I'm firmly of the view that all of us should spread this beautiful spirit of being ethical, remaining ethical in certain testing circumstances and difficult situations. So we have the example of Nepal. We used to wonder why there are less problems in Nepal. and why these are, of course, in Islami area, sometime in India, sometime in Pakistan, other. So I think Sanjay ji is with us. I have been in Nepal, Kathmandu at least 7-8 times, and I have seen that the difference which is there, I must say, this ethical and unethical. I'm not saying that so many of our leaders are turning unethical, but only, a few can also. So one spoiled, rotten apple can spoil others also. So I think we should make an effort, combined effort, and endeavor to turn to ethical leadership.
Thank
Talk
you,
about
Raviji.
it
We have
more.
time just for 1 or 2 questions. Actually, it's already 10:15. I request every one of you to please allow me to extend the program by 5 minutes. So we'll take the last 2 questions. Mohammed Naeem.
Thank you, Sir Ravi. I am also your proud student at LCIP Nepal. And thank you for adding a presentation for ethics for the trainer. There are two perspectives. Well, there is a quality trainer and who undertakes all the prerequisites, as you mentioned, prepared and, rehearsal and genuine material. But there is another thing that even though you are a quality trainer, but you are not in a good book of the lobby that is on the dominance. So there are two perspectives. If the management of the GLT coordinator of a district or multiple district are not taking you, even though you are a quality trainer, that is on their part. But if you are thinking that you are that quality trainer and the institutes and training are being offered to the compromised trainer who are not properly qualified, then you have to, do some unethical things or lobbying in order to get training. So what you can do, just stay silent and being quality trainer, that until and unless you are given opportunity, you will not go there. So whose loss is it?
Say, being silent would be a defeatist sort of attitude. And blaming others, say the senior leaders, for not giving us the opportunity, this is again a defeatist sort of attitude. If we work hard, if we prepare ourselves, and if we go to clubs, even for small training events, I'm telling you, your reputation will grow. It will spread. Have faith in yourself, friend. And all of us should have faith, but we should be working hard, and we should know how to become an impactful trainer, impactful facilitator. So my message to all the FDIs and LCIPs, those who ever complain of no opportunity, they should work harder and get opportunities. And once they do it well, the word will spread and there'll be people approaching you. That is a fact.
The last question from Ananda Kumari.
I think
you're already unmuted, Ananda Kumari.
Unmute.
You're already unmuted. You can just speak. Okay, sorry. Then the chance goes to the next one online, iPhone. I don't know who this is. Sir, you can speak.
I think this is R.K. Rawat.
Oh, sorry.
I am from Varisha, Lucknow.
Okay.
It was wonderful, this entire series of SkillUP, and the last of which being the ethical leadership. Although it is in the last, but I think it is the foremost importance. So my point was this, that so many issues which Sanjay ji wrote here and Ravi ji thereafter elaborated it very nicely. So ethical values and ethical leadership, that is very essential, not only in the line services, but in the personal life also. So, and we have come across a lot of issues also which so many persons have raised. So my submission is this, that if the program of this ethical leadership and ethical values in the service, if this is made an essential part of the district curriculum, at least I mean to say in good sizable number, because this is a thing which is to be infused in the mind of the people. There cannot be a straightway saying something and they will grab it. So persistently infusion of that will only awaken the ethical values and being ethical in their working. So my submission was that that if those type of workshops or capsule programs are inducted at district level, that will make a sense to take it forward very effectively. This is my submission.
Thank you,
We
Ravi.
are,
That's a beautiful
we are
point that
lucky
you made.
today that, may I just for 1 minute? We are lucky today that PID Sanjay Khetan is with us. Through Sanjay ji, we can get our request, go to Lions International and particularly the leadership division that a part of VDG and DG elect curriculum must have this component. My request again to Sanjay sir.
Yeah. That's a great idea. I think.
I don't know. God arranges many things in order. Actually, I am working at present with the curriculum for Vice President AP Singh's here. Because we have already in flow, we are already through with the Fabricio Oliveira. Q-Center training has been done. So we are working on the curriculum at present. So let us see how we can work on that.
So thank you, everybody. So we are sorry we have taken 7 or 8 minutes more, but I think you all enjoyed interacting with the presenter. And there were very good questions. I appreciate everyone for your contribution and all the wonderful inputs that you've given. 1 or 2 announcements before we formally close. I already told you that in case you post your number in the chat box, I'll report your attendance to the Learn portal. The second thing, Kalyani, I don't think she's here. She has not come. So I'm still not sure if there is going to be the next 21st program. In case if Kalyani is not there, most likely I'll do it. But 21st program will, for all practical purposes, we'll see that there is going to be 1 more program on May 9th. Then I thank our past international director and GAT area leader, Sanjay Khetan for the time that he's given us, for the wonderful message that he has given us, for striking the right note, and also for inspiring us. Raviji, it's very difficult to appreciate the great work that you've done. You were a little reluctant at the beginning, but we'd have missed all this in case you had not come forward. So I'm very happy that you've finally accepted to make this presentation. You had lots of inputs to give us, and everybody has enjoyed listening to you, and everybody has benefited from it. There are some very good inputs, and then maybe we can carry them forward. So I thank all the others who participated actively, enthusiastically with their questions, with their inputs, with their chat comments, and also those who helped me in reading out the code of ethics at the beginning. Thank you very much. So the meeting is over, but I think the Zoom will be open for another 5 minutes. You can say hello to each other. You can congratulate Raviji. You can whatever. So the meeting, as far as the official formal meeting is over, it's over. Good night, everybody.